Woo, look at how far we've come. We're now going to move on to the last two problems on our review, which are, of course, word problems, because that's just how we like to roll. Let's start with number 13, and both 13 and 14 will be a little bit longer because I'm going to do the whole problems on one video. On each problem is going to be a whole video. Number 13. I always start with word problems by reading them because you can't start until you know what you're doing. The length of a rectangle in terms of x is x squared plus 2x minus 5, and its width is 2x plus 3. Well, both of those seem like pretty important pieces of information. So the length, so my length is this, and my width is this. Write a polynomial that represents the perimeter of the rectangle and simplify. Now, if you're like me, you probably struggle with word problems. And so my strategy is, if it is trying to talk about a picture of something, so in this case, a rectangle, I'll actually just draw a rectangle so I can think about it. So let me draw a rectangle over here for reference. I know that the length of my rectangle, because it tells me, is x squared plus 2x minus 5. I'm told that. I'm told the width is 2x plus 3. What is a perimeter? Well, a perimeter is the distance all the way around the outside of a shape. So if I start here, the perimeter is the length all the way across the outside. Okay? So to find the perimeter of this, I need to somehow add up those. But let's think about what a rectangle is first. For something to be a rectangle, it has to have two pairs of congruent sides. So if that top side over there is x squared plus 2x plus 5, guess what? This one is called also x squared plus 2x minus 5. And if this width over here is 2x plus 3, same thing over here, this has got to be 2x plus 3. And how is that helpful? Because I know that to go around the perimeter of this, it's going to take two widths and two lengths to go all the way around my rectangle. Okay? So another way of representing this problem, other than with a picture, is to say that two widths, my perimeter of any rectangle, can be represented as 2 times my width plus 2 times my length. And we know both of those things. So if I put in the ones that I know for the problem, I can say that my perimeter is 2 times x squared plus 2x minus 5 plus 2 times 2x plus 3. And that would be my initial setup. Now, I'm not quite done yet because I can simplify this for sure. I can simplify by distributing. I can distribute that 2 into that parentheses and that 2 into that parentheses. That's going to give me 2x squared plus 4x minus 10. And again, since this is an addition problem, we can just keep going. Plus 4x plus 6. Now it's time to pull out our addition combining like term skills. 2x squared is all by itself, so I just bring that down. I've got 4x and 4x. That's going to give me plus 8x. And then 10 negative 10 plus 6 is going to give me negative 4. And so this right here is my simplified version of the perimeter of my shape. Now let's take a look at the second part. What is the perimeter when x is equal to 5? Well, now that I have an equation to represent the perimeter, all I need to do is plug in everywhere that I see an x over here. I'm going to replace it with 5. So 2 times 5 squared plus 8 times 5 minus 4. You can do this in your calculator, in your head, whatever makes you more comfortable. I know that that's going to be, let's see, 50 plus 40 minus 4. So 90 minus 4, well, that's going to be 86. And so that means that my perimeter is 86 feet. And just so I can clean this up a little bit, let's rewrite that over here. So 2x squared plus 8x minus 4. I'm going to rewrite that over here so we don't lose it. Okay. How do I write a polynomial? Let's take a look at part C that represents the area. Well, remember that to find the area of a rectangle, this is something you probably learned in middle school. The area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width. Okay. Now, in this problem, we're just asked to write it. We're not asked to simplify like we were up here. So this makes our life a lot easier because otherwise we're going to need a 2x3 box and we don't want to do that. Write a polynomial that represents the area of a rectangle. So length times width, that's going to be x squared plus 2x minus 5. And since it's timesing, we're going to put another parentheses right next to it. 2x plus 3. Now we could simplify this using our product skills by multiplying, but it didn't ask us to, so let's not do more work than we have to. And finally, just like before, to find the area, I need to plug in 5 for x. So I'm going to, in my calculator, type in 5 squared plus 2 times 5 minus 5 times 2 times 5 plus 3. Now, I put all the parentheses in here because it's not so much of a deal when we have a positive number, but if I have a negative number, it causes issues when you don't put parentheses, so it's always a good idea to do that anyways. Let's simplify this down a little bit. My first one, if I simplify that, I'm going to get, this is 25. 5 squared is 25. And 25 plus 10 is 35. Minus 5 is 30. So that all simplifies down to 30. Again, you can do that in a calculator. You don't have to do it in your head like I did. And then my second parentheses, well, 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And guess what? 30 times 13 is going to give me 390. So my area is 390 feet. And since it's area, and I should write that here, area is always in some, we always call it feet squared. So it's whatever unit you're in squared. And you'll learn more about that when you get to geometry. Oops. And so that is our final answer. We are done with question number 13. We have one final video for number 14, and then that is the end of this test review.